Welcome back, horror fans, cinephiles, and giallo enthusiasts. This is Tanner Leeser, your host for all things giallo here on The King in Giallo. Our next stop on our journey through giallo cinema is Slaughter Hotel, directed by Fernando Di Leo, released in 1971. This video is an edited down version. Herein you will find the overview portion of the full-length video. Coming next week will be the complete deep dive with the review and GialliTally. This video may be watched entirely without any spoilers. Here is Slaughter Hotel Overview. Slaughter Hotel, also called Cold-Blooded Beast and Asylum Erotica, is an Italian production. The film is directed by Fernando Di Leo, who also co-wrote the film along with Nino Latino. Music is by Silvano Spadaccino. The cast comprises Klaus Kinski as Dr. Francis Clay, Margaret Lee as Cheryl Hume, Rosalba Neri as Anne Palmieri, Jane Garrett as Mara, John Karlsen as Professor Osterman, and Gioia Desideri as Ruth. The plot, if you can even call it that, follows the killings of unbalanced female inmates at a sanatorium for the wealthy. The suspects are in no short supply, as the asylum crew is led by Dr. Francis Clay, the resident psychiatrist who has been pursuing an affair with one of his patients, and this is not the first time. The killings go on without being noticed until it becomes undeniable, but even after the police get involved, near the very end, the killings do not slow down. Di Leo mentions that the project fell into his lap completely by chance, and he found the setting and the plot to be so absurd that he decided to lean well into the ridiculousness. The fact that the asylum is in a castle with its own assortment of weapons was ripe for over-the-top shenanigans. The story, again, if you can even call it so, was ludicrous, and the idea that weapons and torture equipment would be all over the place, merely lying about without being removed, was so far-fetched and unbelievable, especially considering this is an asylum for the unwell. The script lacked any bit of realism and is filled to the brim with unethical doctors who casually sleep with their disturbed patients. The film is not shy about being nothing more than exploitation schlock and a lot of fun. Even the director admits it. Turn your brain off for this one and just go with the flow as best you can. Fernando Di Leo would become a master of the poliziesque crime genre with the films Caliber 9, The Italian Connection, both 1972, The Boss, 1973, and Shoot First, Die Later, 1974. With the films of that genre, Di Leo would present gripping and tense forays of action, which were well-paced, focused, and razor-sharp. But here, this picture is an utter mess and sort of shambles along from one extended nude scene to the next. The gore during the kill scenes is laughably unconvincing, and while the ending is certainly a lot of fun in how over the top it goes, the reveal is nothing special and not much of a surprise. The lighting is rather dull and uninspired, and is too stark throughout to lend any chance for shadows or atmospheric lighting to seep in, unless you count the scenes with the killer, who is always filmed in complete darkness with just the slightest silhouette around their body. The set was previously used in the 1962 film The Terror of Dr. Hitchcock by Ricardo Freda, a movie which better utilized the space. The set was also used in The Murder Clinic, 1966. The special effects are haphazardly thrown together, the editing is obnoxious as all hell, the filming in general seems amateurish and rather on the nose, the musical score is nothing special. This is sounding more and more like the night Evelyn came out of the grave to me. Klaus Kinski, who starred in Double Face, 1969, seems to have used up all his prowess in that film and had nothing left for this flick. He is an amazing actor, but here it seems he couldn't care less, and when you go off of the script, I can easily see why. Kinski would occasionally phone in performances if he felt uninspired. Rosalba Neri is well cast and seems to be having a lot of fun in her role as the horribly tormented nymphomaniac. There is a noticeable goof involving a scene with her which, at the risk of being demonetized and age restricted, I'll just say her character is doing some solo activity, and boy is she acting her ass off in this segment. But additional footage was filmed after the fact, and I'm not sure if Rosalba Neri refused to do these added shots or if she was just simply unavailable, but I'll just say that this movie contains the most extreme clips I've seen in a film, certainly of any giallo thus far, and the added clips gives us the most distasteful close-up shots which could be used in a sex ed anatomy class. Believe me when I say, during the viewing, I remarked that this movie was so disjointed from one nude scene to the next. The cast and crew all seemed to not be displaying any level of competence that would suggest they were actually working on a film, and the plot seemed to be an afterthought, that this movie felt like it originally was a script for an adult film or something, but the producer then came along and said that there was an extra slot available at the horror film festival, and so he just asked the director to throw a movie together that they could submit. Everything is off about this movie. The suspense and dread are non-existent, the characters lack any believability, save for one chauffeur who sneaks into the parlor after all the nurses have gone to bed so he can finish off all their alcoholic beverages they left out. The scenes carry on for way too long, entire scenes feel like they could be cut from the movie, and the flashbacks feel tacked on in order to pad the running time, as well as showcase the same nude scenes we just saw several more times. I am actually frustrated at this movie because I fear it is going to steal the #1 spot in the GialliTally because of its excessive nudity and flashbacks. Legitimately, this movie feels like someone anticipated the GialliTally scoring system and endeavored to throw a movie together which would exploit the section of my scoring which awards points for flashbacks and instances of nudity, including nudity in flashbacks. Believe me when I say that this movie was pissing me off. I bet I could do the review portion in no time, considering there isn't really a plot, but the GialliTally on this one will be rough, and I don't know if I can do it without getting age restricted and demonetized. All in all, the movie is not great, not even good by nearly any metric, and hardly can be called a fun watch, but what the movie does have going for it is being truly one of a kind. This movie is worth watching for how ridiculous it is. Grab some friends and I reckon y'all will have a pretty good time. There is not another movie, let alone giallo, nearly similar to Slaughter Hotel. Thank you for watching this overview only video. Don't miss the full overview, review, and GialliTally for Slaughter Hotel next week. As of right now, it doesn't appear that you can stream the movie for free. It is on YouTube for 99 cents, Amazon Prime Video for 99 cents, and Google Play Movies for 99 cents. There does seem to be a video of it entirely on YouTube along with fatal frames all in one large 2.5 hour video. Don't forget to like this video and join me next week to see the rest of this review. Comment your predictions for the AZ score for the movie and the final GialliTally score. Please like this video, share it with your friends if they are horror fans or cinephiles, subscribe to The King in Giallo if you haven't yet, and if you have any questions, thoughts, curiosities, or concerns, leave those below in the comments section and I will get back to you. Give The King in Giallo a follow on Instagram and a like on Facebook. Subscribe to the King in Giallo Patreon to see early access to my videos, with some videos able to be seen up to 3 weeks in advance before they hit YouTube, plus exclusive content found only there, such as the viewings, as well as the Giallo-adjacent podcast, Let's Play for Giallo-inspired games, and book reviews for Giallo-inspired books. Thank you very much for your continued support. This is Tanner Leeser for The King in Giallo, and if nothing else, I'll see you next time.